Good afternoon, and welcome to another exciting match of Free Enterprise. Today we have a match for you at the 4-0 stage between Dia and Dragus Cloud. These are players that have already made it into brackets. However, there's a bit on the line. We'll talk about that in a moment. In the meanwhile, I am joined here by Cubs Rule 21. How you doing, Cubs?
Can't complain. How you doing, Solaris?
Yeah, doing great. Nice and cozy. Got my coffee, ready to rock and roll.
I feel like we're watching Final Fantasy 1 here for a moment on Dragus' side. That's a very, very interesting little naming scheme there.
Yeah, I love it. Also brings me to like Final Fantasy 11 or 14. And Dia's names in the meanwhile say Happy Day, Happy Ace Day. I don't think I follow what the ace is, but I like it.
I think it's International Asexual Pride Day.
Oh, I love it.
So again, both of these players have already qualified for brackets. This is going to be one hell of a match, I think, and a couple of character hunts today. We're looking for a Kain and a Cecil.
This is like the vanilla starting package, but if we start with them, they won't count.
Yeah, depending on how these characters shake out, we could be in for a quick one here today, or we could be in for that always hoped for required giant.
Yep, it's always a wild card with these hunt objectives. They could either show up right away, or they could be locked behind ridiculous chains or locked behind the giant. But in the meanwhile, for these players, they are in the 4-0 stage. They have already made it into brackets, but they are still fighting for a couple of things. The main one is that the player that gets to 5 wins will be able to skip the first round because they're likely to get a bye mathematically in the first round of brackets. The other thing they're fighting for is that the higher seeded player, well, the player with the higher number of wins in the round of 32 will have a 1-0 going into that best of 3 match. So even though we're at the 4-0 and we're pretty comfy because we made it into brackets, there are still things at stake here.
I mean, we're always used to a bit of a bracket reset in the finals where one person will have a 1-0 lead, but to have a 1-0 lead in a best of 3 is huge. You can't even really go into how big that is.
Oh, yeah, it's massive. It really puts the other player with their back against the wall because they have to win 2 times in a row. And if Dia makes it to 5 wins, and this is one of our top runners, it's very likely, good luck, because you're going to need it.
It looks like we might be getting underway here. Always nice to have a Rosa start. And an old man, I see. Oh. Well, would you like to go underground, Solaris?
Oh yeah, I would love to go underground. Magma Key start it's always interesting. I doubt our players will immediately go underground. There are a couple of things to do. Actually, it's very possible that they do. We will see, though, going underground before going to Fabul, because you get underground with that Magma Key, you go check your freebie at Feymarch, you go check Yang, and then that just lets you skip having to go to Fabul a second time. So we will get underground pretty quickly here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go hunting for loot first. I don't care. Our runners are immediately heading underground.
Yeah, that Feymarch loot is very hard to turn down right off the bat.
Yep, very fair. You get to the Feymarch, you save, you run underground. There's only 1 trap chest on your way, and then there's a good density of chests in the town there as well.
With the character checks, I mean, we have a couple available right now on the world map. If you grab a key item or 2, you might very well be in go mode here the next 10, 15, 20 minutes. This could be very important information they're about to come across.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. It's also, now that I'm thinking about it, this is very smart because our starting team is, we don't know what Rosa and Tella are wearing, but this is a very weak power level start. The damage is not very high, so not only just do your freebies first, but if we find something like a Sand Ruby or even a package to help us, you know, just get that next character, especially if the Hobbs character is difficult to get or is another character that's not high power level. And we see Dia, you know, doing exactly what we were saying. I think Dragus Cloud is right behind. Gonna go ahead and loot that Fey March, see what that first objective is.
I think you're just about praying for Samurai Bow or a Stardust Rod here. Just something to get off the ground with these two. I missed
Or
what
just
Rosa
daggers.
had. I missed what Rosa had, but just a staff for Tella, so really not much there. That Black Sword could be quite useful, though, if we come across that Dark Knight Cecil before heading to Ordeals.
Yep, same with the Dancing Dagger that both runners have picked up here. We don't have a character that can use it, but if we do, if you're familiar at all with the vanilla speedrun of this game, the Dancing Dagger is very powerful early.
Got a Rune Axe. I think that was a Dragon Whip on Dia's side.
Yep, and a Chain Whip.
So
all the whips and all the daggers.
As usual, lots of strong items that no one can equip. Oh, hello. That's a nice pink tail you got there.
Yep, so that is an objective. We of course can't turn it in right now, so we're just gonna put that in our back pocket for the moment. One thing about a Magma Key start is that yes, it's nice, easy access underground, but it will put at the back of the player's mind, where is that hook? Because it does gate an objective and a key item essentially, and access to Eblin, which could gate also another character check and a shop.
Well, and not only starting with the Magma Key, I mean, it puts that King Queen Eblin boss spot in the back of your mind as well, because the chances of actually going to the hook route are not very good.
Looks like Dia checking here. Do we have leg or quarter leg?
It was leg. And then there's that guy standing next to leg. Baigen and Leviathan spot. That's going to be a hard no for me.
Yep. Nope. Especially right now, but that's a Fey March you probably don't come back to for a very long time.
That's, I think, going to be locations 33 and 34 for me. I'll be honest. I'm going to stay far, far away from there.
Dia and Dragus Cloud remaining in lockstep with each other. Dia taking a cheeky taking a cheeky Sylph Cave chest. There are, I believe, 7 trapped chests here, so she found a monster. It's not very surprising.
Yeah, but the loot, if you find something there, can vastly outweigh the risk of those trap chests, especially being right there at the entrance.
Oh yeah.
Both players gonna say hello to the monk in the bed, and we'll come back with a kitchen utensil later for him. But I'm wondering now if we see a little bit of it. Well, it looks like both of them are going right back up. I was wondering if we might see a bit of a dwarf castle dip just to see that first boss. But straight to Hods for both. We want to know what that character is.
Yep. Like we said earlier, the power level on this team is quite weak. If we find a good character here, we want to get that experience on them as soon as possible. I see Rosa starting with a great bow and white arrows. Not spectacular, but she does have aim that will the accuracy on these weapons is very low.
Well,
Golbez here. Dragus Cloud says nope.
Yeah, the instant reset. Sid is not worth it. Dia, on the other hand, seems to want that Sid. Which, it's a massive improvement in terms of just pure attack power here right now. And if you can... She is able to get Rosa on the ground, so there will be no disrupt today from Shadow.
Oh, this is really clever. By getting that Rosa knocked down, Golbez at this spot will still hurt quite a bit with the spells, but I believe the magic attack stat is not very good here. Sid might actually survive a spell.
get a Star Veil up, get the Dwarf Axe on him, and well, at that point, you might as well just throw the Rune Axe on him and let him start swinging.
Yep, meanwhile, Dragus Cloud did dive outline, immediately heads to see the boss here, and it is an Octomam. Octomam has kind of just moved just a little bit, kind of tired of waterfalls. Is this like an octopus in quicksand now?
Somehow Octomam finds its way through just about everything in this game at one point or another, so it certainly has some talent, we'll say that.
Wow, Sid surviving a lit 3 from Golbez here.
Able to get the Star Veil up. Meanwhile, Dragus getting through that Octomam and walking away with Tower Key. Always nice.
This is another.
Oh, go ahead.
This is another one that's nice to find. It's another thing you're going to put in your back pocket for the moment. We do have access to it, but going to the tower, probably not immediately, but it's always nice to see that because it really just incentivizes going to that tower instead of having to make a keyless tower play at some point.
If you
and
really
Dia
wanna
getting
be a
through
little,
that fight.
If you really want to be a little cheeky right now with that Sid, find a decent hammer, head down to the tower, and see if you can get the trap chest, see what the alerts are hiding today. There could be some very good things hiding behind those that might take care of looting for the rest of the seed.
Yep, Sid definitely good with that hammer against that type of enemy, which is weak to the hammers. Machines are. Dia, meanwhile, skipping outline for the moment, heading straight to Fabul. Wants to get those 2 key items from here, or key item checks.
Dragus, on the other hand, fading Fabul entirely, heading up Ordeals.
This is an interesting play on Dragus Cloud's side.
It's back to Hobbs. Don't mind me. I can see what things are.
Speaking of things weak to hammer, we find Dr. Dialogue in the Fabul defense. Now, of course, with Sid and that Rune Axe, we're going to make pretty short work of this boss.
Now the real fight. But Luke as a machine does not like those hammers. This is still, unfortunately, a very weak party.
Sid getting a low roll on that Runic Axe swing, unfortunately. We will get the Dr. Dialogue. We'll get the poison here as well.
Well, Dragus catching a break, using that Star Veil before everybody was paralyzed by Golbez, but Shadow misses Rosa, so that Star Veil is still alive.
Yep, Dragus Cloud will get through this encounter really with no problems, I think, at this point. And Dia gets through the Fabul defense. Easy peasy. We'll see what the item is here.
And Tella takes a nap. Somebody's got to guard the floor, right?
Basically where he belongs. Oh, Dia. Getting the Panic Rock. That is a Darkness Crystal.
So would you like the entire game open to you? Because you have the entire game open to you.
Do I want the entire game open to me? Nope. Do we have it? Sure do. Now, one nice thing about this, it is another character check, and it is a... Oh. Dia says, here, take this sword.
That will be nice once we get that Cecil. That's a big incentive to go toward Ordeals here early. We know there's one out there.
The Avenger is quite powerful. Makes a lot of... Not only makes a lot of encounters rather trivial, it is automatic berserk, which means you could go into a fight and just do nothing, essentially, and let that berserker get through. So it's very efficient as well.
Going to Dwarf Castle.
Dia either feeling very good about the power level, or without saving, I think this is just a shop check.
Could be, yeah. Well, that's a very, very helpful shop with those Bacchuses.
How do you like Dwarven wine?
Double, please. On the rocks? No, wait, hold on. No, that's not wine. Yep. Definitely popping a couple of those will help, yes.
Yep, always nice to find those Bacchus wines. Let our melee fighters berserk themselves, much like the Avenger.
Camera check. Looking for those sirens early. No hook. You start to worry when you don't see them. Now, we have access to all the gated shops, but Eblin. So at this point,
Yep,
I think
and
you're...
only... Go ahead.
No, I think you're hoping they're on the moon. Otherwise, especially with this party, you're in for a bit of a rough mid-game. Levels will be very hard to come by.
We do have one more gated shop check, like you said. Though Dia is skipping the check on the moon for the moment, feeling strong enough to head up ordeals here.
So just getting that Cecil to a paladin before you ever find him is a very strong draw. Not to mention unlocking all of Tella's spells. So that alone might be the power boost needed that she's looking for right now.
Yep, and this is a natural point in progression, you know, from the story, so it's good amount of experience. It's not too difficult, depending on what the bosses are here. And finding a life staff and an elven bow. This is the Rosa starting package right here. Or not the starter package, the level up package, I suppose. I don't know. That's apparently a thing now.
Hey, whatever it takes to get through. This is we've said it a few times. This is a low power start. Oh. Hi, turtle. This is maybe one of the better places to see a turtle, but you still really never want to see a turtle.
No, but I think we're going to be just fine here. We've got a couple Thor Rages in Dia's inventory, and Tella, who does not have that many spells available, can cast Lit 1. We see her queuing that up right now.
That Blizzard might be getting queued up next. With Sid's HP, you can definitely take advantage of that Blizzard.
Yep, or we just swing with the Runic Axe. The spot doesn't have really too much health. We'll get through it, no problem.
Well, Kenazo wanting to be a bit difficult today. Oh, there we go. Now we're hiding in the shell.
There's the always amusing wave queued up, and then Kinatsu hides in the shell. But thankfully, that wave is based on Kinatsu's current hit points and really does nothing at that point. Dia getting through the fight here. We'll see what's at the back attack.
Just a little tickle there. While Dragus is taking that darkness crystal and heading up to the moon.
Evil wall here is pretty annoying. Looks like Sid's got a lot of defense though.
This is rough, and that wall's moving pretty quick.
Yeah, Tella only taking 94 here. Gets a blink up on Rosa. Sid'll do almost all of the damage here. We'll get through it, I believe.
Well,
I definitely prefer seeing this here too on the moon, for instance.
Agreed, yeah. I think maybe I'd want to see who's at Baron Inn. Just see if there's a little extra punch, but Dia seems to have this one under control. But we're going to see that moon character check from Dragus. And we could be in for one of our objectives here. Definitely would not mind a Cecil or a Kane right now.
I'd also love to see a Fu. That is a huge power boost at this point in the game. Fu, like we've said many times now, really unleashed in this tournament. Compared to the last one where he was not enabled. But instead, how would you like another white mage?
The 5th best white mage in the game.
Also a scholar. At least for Dragus Club.
Yeah, that's... To put it simply, that's not what you're hoping to see for there.
Nope, not at all. Porm, of course, does have some utility, especially she gets Berserk early. But we already have Rosa. It's kind of like, eh.
And speaking of things you don't want to see, the freest of fights at a... Not only a weak spot, a no XP spot. Ew. It just feels like a waste seeing it here, almost.
Yep, but however, Dia is rewarded with a Sand Ruby. That could be another, that is another chance at an objective. That's another chance at a character with a bit more power, since the moon really didn't have it. Very nice pickup for Dia here.
Yeah. At this point, anything that gives a character check, I think you have to prioritize, given the double objective for that.
And someone asking in chat, moon access this early. Yup, Panic Rock was achieved behind the Fubul defense.
And combine that with the starting magma key, you have, what, 80% of the world open to you just about immediately?
It's a lot.
And another mage starting with the staff, not having much luck with these starting weapons here today.
Nope. With the Sineki flag, it's quite variable, and I believe it's just pure random. I don't think there's a weighting to it, whether you start with a very weak weapon or something stronger like an archer bow, which is not amazing, but for an early bow is actually pretty good. Charm arrows are in the pool.
I think if
Or
I
mute
remember right,
arrows, I believe.
it's a random tier 1 to 3 starting weapon. So it's been a very low rolls here so far.
Dia remembering not to fade outline, heads right there. We'll find her Octomam here.
20-minute summary. Would you like the entire game open to you within the first 5 minutes? Because that's what we got here.
Yep, opening magma key. Our runners step in step headed down, checked the Fey March, got their pink tail, and Fabul Defense had the Darkness Rock, so very much of this game, sure, those are words, are open to us.
Just a display there of the sheer difference in power going to Ordeals makes. A 2-turn fight there for Dia, where it was a good 90 seconds, almost a couple of minutes on that Octomam for Dragus.
We like to make fun of Tella as guarding the floor, but for overworld checks, after doing Ordeals, he has Virus, he has tier 3 spells, really quite powerful. Dia now is going to go check who is in bed in Kaipa.
The real final boss of the game, these NPCs. Oh, hello, child.
This is truly a mage seed.
Yeah, the daycare is overflowing at the moment. That, I believe, was a useful child as well. I could not... I believe that was Palom, so... Get a couple levels and that will be very beneficial for this party.
Yep, these two, Dia finding that Palom. Palom on this flag set, not really the star that he was in our last tournament, is still quite powerful early. You get him up to Virus or Quake, and that is quite a bit of power. So for this party at this stage in the game, I think Dia's at least somewhat happy.
Also, welcome everyone in from Free Enterprise. Hope that was an excellent match over there, but do please keep the spoilers to a minimum for those who would like to watch it back later.
Yep, welcome into this race. How would you like the whole world open to you? I know we just explained this, but essentially darkness was found very early. We started with a magma key, so here's the entire world. Enjoy.
We had a very quick dip underground for both characters, just enough time to run away from Feymarch as fast as humanly possible and go see our friend in the bed. That Feymarch is still quite ugly.
Oh yeah, with the Beigen and the full leg of Rubicant down there, those are both a nope. Just a hard nope.
Yeah, not for quite a while. This is, you know, Dragus did not check the moon shop while I was up here. If there are sirens here, this could be quite an edge for Dia.
I would love to find sirens here. Nope, just an elixir and ethers. No sirens in this seed so far. The only shop we've not been able to check is Eblin.
So that hook is hiding, and at the moment it could be just about it. Oh, okay. Dragus did check the moon shop apparently. I missed that one entirely.
And to re-explain for anyone that came into the race from our raid party or anyone that dropped in kind of after the start, our runners are in the 4-0 stage. That does mean that they've made it into brackets. So from that perspective, they're already in, but this is still, there are still things on the table here. First of all is the seeding. We are doing seeding for our players, so the higher seed is more advantage to you for your matchup. But there's also the fact that mathematically, if you get to 5 wins or 6 wins for our round of 32, that'll be the second round of brackets, they'll get a bye for that first round that will happen to see who makes it into the top 32 essentially. So that's quite a big advantage. And then the second advantage is that the higher seeded player with more wins in the round of 32 will have a 1-0 going into their best of 3. So that's also really quite huge. So we are at the comfy stage of I've made it to brackets, but there are still things online.
Oh, well, hello, Demist.
Bonus round.
Hiding a Yang. Well, we're starting to get to that point where our early character checks are exhausted, and now you're starting to... That giant is starting to creep into your mind, unfortunately.
Love finding a Demist here. This is the only boss we were hunting that gates a key item. However, oh, Val. Oh, Val.
Ow. I don't think... Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe this spot has the greatest of magic defense, but Val is still just, you never really want to see her, period.
Nope, this spot hits quite hard, but we've got a full party, and it looks like we have enough accuracy to punch through the defense here, so I don't think Dia's going to have a problem. Actually, Val, funny enough, at the first Baronin spot would have been quite a bit more annoying, because she is quite defensive at that spot. But I love finding Demus there because we don't have to worry about where it is, and we don't have to worry that she's at really any spot with a very high hit point total, because that could take forever. Oh, Sid getting a 1200 crit there. Goodbye, Val.
And we... Oh, well, there's an adamant. So half of the forge, we've got a couple halves of objectives, just not the two that go together.
Nope, but we'll get another key item check here with that demist at Mist Town, and really it's still nice to pick up. We're getting closer to 10 key items, and I mean, we could end up in a situation where suddenly we find our two characters. Let's say we get an Earth Crystal and Kane and Cecil are both in Zot, and Zot gives a hook or the Legend Sword. Things could turn quite quickly here.
Yeah, by the way, could not wait to get rid of Palom fast or Porum fast enough, taking that Yang instead. And more key items that will be useful in the near future, hopefully.
Well,
Rat Tail.
Hope we find that hook soon.
Now, that tower key is starting to look very nice. Because I'm not sure
Yep,
we
tower
have much else to go on at the moment.
Yep, tower key looking pretty nice. So is Dwarf Castle. And Dia making a check, making a play here to go into Eblin Castle. I like this quite a bit. We could find more good equipment. There's very good tier of loot here, and also it will get some experience on Palom, depending on what chest we find here. And a Stardust Rod picked up. Oh, that's very nice for
Yeah, that's
our current
exactly
Black
what
Mage.
you're looking for with this party coming in here. The Zeus Gauntlet for that Yang as well.
Even the Tiara is a nice piece of defensive equipment for Rosa.
And that may be it. Dodging the trap chest with what Dia found, she may be done and might be heading straight underground. Nope, never mind. Looking for those trap chests, it appears.
Yep, and collecting some very good high tier loot, things I could sell for money. This flag set does incentivize some amount of looting because you're most likely to find a melee heavy party. Now, we do have mages at the moment, but if Cecil shows up rather early, or even Kane, since we have that Avenger, we will start losing some of our mages for them. And then you really want some money because you want to buy, well, actually, for any party, you want to buy sirens. That's if we find the hook and sirens are there. And we really want to buy Bacchus wine. There are coffins. There are a number of things that are good. And no, we have not found sirens quite yet. We've checked all the shops except our gated hook shop at Eblin.
Yeah.
That spot does have 2 guaranteed tier, I think it's 5 items, so sirens could show up there.
Third attempt into Eblin Castle, finally finding one of the traps. They were hiding quite far away. Did not quite getting the roll there with that rune axe on the Mad Ogres that qualify as mages, but gotta have a few more shots here.
Yeah, but Tella will size them down. They'll stop being somewhat annoying and dangerous, and they'll take much more damage from Sid swings. And then I imagine we need to pick up that Palom and that Yang. We're really looking for experience here. Palom, not very useful at the moment at his base level.
Dragus picking up his Adamant and the Yang. Likely picking up the Yang. No.
There we go. 5,600 with that swing.
Dragus says no to the Yang. Going to hold on to the mage party early.
I think I don't mind that. Yang really wants an investment and levels to be useful at the moment. I'm not quite so sure about holding on to Porum at that moment, but 2 white mages are, well, practically 3 white mages at this point. They do bring a lot of utility for your party.
We're through the Mad Ogres. A little bit less XP, I think, than Dia was hoping for, missing one of the life glitches. But definitely enough to get that Palom started. And a Bahamut Orb if we come across another tiny child.
I didn't catch, did Palom learn virus there?
I don't believe so. I think the last spell I saw was Stop.
A tracker pointing out, getting just short of Quake, but Dia says, you know what, this is fine. Let's just go to Dwarf Castle. Let's get another chance at a key item and a character objective. Let's just go. At the end of this, if Palom survives, he will get Quake.
Level 15 for Palom. I don't believe we have viruses 18, if I recall correctly. So no virus yet. And a mom bomb hiding at the doll's spot.
Getting a lot of the punchy bosses out of the way early here.
And not only is this a spot that the HP pool is usually split amongst 6 enemies, so there's already more than normal. You're gonna add another 9,000 there for Mom Bomb. So this could be quite a long fight here.
And our routes are converging here. Dragus Cloud also making the play into Dwarf Castle. Both of our runners are going to be in the Mom Bomb fight for a little bit here, I believe. So, of course, with that Rank X, we'll do quite a bit.
That Mom
But
Bomb
it will still take a while.
Just laying waste to Dia's party at the moment. Unfortunately, very squishy right now. We're hoping to change that if we get through this. No, we have not seen either Stessel or Kane yet. I think the hope is to find one here.
And while our runners are both... Oh, Dragus Cloud taking a reset there. This fight is quite rude. Dia getting to the explode phase on Mom Bomb. I didn't quite catch what happened with Dragus Cloud. I don't know if... I don't think... It didn't look like he was quite at a wipe situation yet, but might have said, you know what, this is just a little too annoying at the moment.
A little rough there for Dia. Just got that blink up on Palom and then goes down to the explode. But at this point, I think it's under control.
The spot is still quite punchy, but if we get rid of those grenades, they are the more difficult of the bombs here. Yeah, Dia throwing a big bomb. We just want to get through this.
Yeah, if nothing else, at this point, there's no risk of a wipe. It's just how strong is the party going to be for round 2 coming up?
Yep, and Dia getting through that fight, getting up a little bit of healing as well, so we'll be pretty well positioned for the second fight here, which is almost always much easier.
And Dragus heading into the tower. And it seems to maybe be kind of hunting out some of those trap chests.
Might be hunting for trap chests, might just be interested in a few early chests. There was a chest on the right that we skipped for Dragus Cloud at the first room here, and Odin found... Ooh, knocking down Tala right away is somewhat annoying.
And it was a second Sid. It was a duplicate Sid at Dwarf Castle.
Not what we wanted to see there.
No,
With that check out of the way, this may be our party for quite some time now. For the remaining locations for our characters, we can find them at the Earth Crystal that's sought. We can find them behind the hook at the Eblin route. We can find them from the Baron Key and the Package and Giant. So there is still quite a few places left, but we don't have the key items to check any of those spots at the moment. And they could all be on the moon. That would be somewhat frustrating since we don't have sirens and we have an all-mage party. Or almost all mages.
Finding CPU here at the Super Cannon. Pretty much anything you find here will melt in a 1 or 2 shots.
Yet another one of those bosses, nice to find at this location. Not gonna have a long slog through the CPU somewhere else.
And a crystal ring from Dwarf Castle, while a very useful item, is probably not exactly what Dia was looking for.
No, not at all. We do get some experience. That's probably the most valuable thing we got from that. Otherwise, Dwarf Castle is a big whiff.
Well, and Sid was the only one alive at the end of the Odin fight, so that experience, I won't exactly say wasted, but not capitalizing the way I think she would like.
No, but Pelham did get, I didn't see the spells he got, but we did get through the first encounter. I'm going to guess he got to 18 or 19 from that at least. It's not
Yeah.
Quake, but he can actually contribute now. But so far, this is looking like a seed where everything could really be on the moon. Of course, we've got the 2 checks here. We never know what'll happen until they get both of these out of the way.
That's a Dark Elf.
Another boss that's quite nice to see here. The Dark Elf, when you get it into its Dark Dragon form, does lose the boss bit, so it can be stopped, it can be weaked.
Dragus resetting. Oh, fixing the anchor situation.
Yep, you do want a good anchoring at this position. While we can get the Dark Dragon form and we can get through it, you know, with stops and whatnot, like I was saying, it is still a rather annoying fight. Especially if we piggy the wrong character. Trying to fix that piggy if we don't have a heal potion. You can cast piggy on that character, but it has quite a long cast time, I believe. Of course, if we piggy care, he doesn't care about that at all.
Very low magic attack, fortunately. Will be a little punchy in the dragon form, but as you mentioned, simple cast of stop takes care of all that.
And our runner is somewhat DNA stranding here with their routing, converging yet again at the top of lower tower boss.
That weak is about the best thing Dark Elf can do. Well, I should say the worst thing Dark Elf can do in this form. It is.
Piggy would be very annoying if we target the wrong character here. That does shut off magic casting for that user. Unless we target a black mage, then they can cast the piggy spell. We could also be very annoying if we hit the wrong character with it, like I said.
At this point, it's very limited in our options. It's these two, or try your hand at the Fey March. Which would you prefer? I sure as heck would not want to go to that Fey March right now.
Oh, this. A million times this. You could do the half tower play, but you really don't want to leave a check that you know your opponent is going to do. Another option would be to run to the moon and take... I don't think we saw hourglasses either, correct?
No, not that I can recall.
So that even makes taking some moon encounters for experience pretty annoying.
I think if you
Piggy
were gonna...
on the Palom and Tele knockdown means that we cannot stop or weak the Dark Dragon form. Rosa with a heal though, getting that Palom back online. Once he casts a stop, this will become very free.
At this point, if you want to go face check the moon, I think about an officer soldier is about the only thing this party could actually take out right now.
I think the Baron Guards are still out there. We still have a Water Hag.
Baron Guards are doable, but that's still gonna, with this party, that's gonna be a very difficult challenge.
We do have coffins. I know Dragus bought 5 of them. I imagine Dia bought at least a couple. But yeah, both our runners through this fight, very well done, very well executed. We'll see what this boss has.
Not quite getting to Quake on Dragus' side. And that's a pan. So, couple more checks open up, and slowly making our way towards, it's what, 8 key items at this point?
I didn't know we were doing synchronized running here.
The actual tie on the way down the tower.
You a fan of synchronized swimming? Oh, Dragus, right, Dragus did this encounter first, so we are back out of sync.
For a moment, it was, were we watching the same feed? I wasn't sure. But
I'm telling you, free enterprise synchronized running.
we're looking forward to what that tower key shows up, or that tower check shows up as here. And I think it's, how fast can you fly over to Sylph?
Pretty dang fast. Praying for literally anything at this point to increase the progression.
Almost 45 minutes in. I mean, I'll never upset to see an Excalibur, but that's not really what you want to see right now. An item for a character that has not yet appeared in the seed.
Our seed having quite a sense of humor at the moment. Here's a full kit for Cecil. Power go burr, but good luck finding him.
So Cecil confirmed a giant, right? From everything we've seen so far?
Pretty much. And at that point, even though Excalibur, Zeus Gauntlet, Avenger are all very powerful, if we find Cecil a little too late, getting him the experience to be a viable party member could end up being very annoying or just not an option.
And to continue with the theme of the seed, more very powerful equipment for characters we don't have. Masamune there, that ninja that is Sir not appearing in the seed at the moment. Well, we've seen a lot of very good, very high tier loot, but you're gonna have to start making decisions here soon. That inventory is gonna fill up very quickly. And a pass from Sheila too.
Oh boy. Well, a pass is always nice to see. It does mean we don't have to run back down the LST, because we're pretty likely to have to run to the moon at this point. The other option, I suppose, is to take on Rubicon with some like Ice 3 shenanigans, but I don't think we're going to see that. I think both our runners, well, nope, Dragus Cloud proving me wrong, heading right back underground.
I don't think Dragus has done Dwarf. No, they both did Dwarf Castle at the same time. Never mind. No, wait, has Dragus done Dwarf Castle?
I think Dragus left.
Ah, that's right. He took the reset on Mom Bomb.
While both our runners cross each other's paths here, I do want to give a shout out for our restream team. We have Escorian doing the restreaming and Alicel doing our tracking. Please give them a follow, and we're always grateful to our restream team. So, thank you so much for this volunteering.
The true heroes behind the stream, just letting us sit here and talk for 45 minutes. Speaking of which, we're 45 minutes in and no objectives. How are you feeling at this point, Solaris?
Well, I'm holding, like, how many objectives can I hold in my hand that I can't do anything with yet? We've got the pink tail, we've got a rat tail, and we've got half a forge, and it's just like, ugh. We want to turn them in, but it's like having a puzzle that's just got not quite the right pieces yet to actually put them together.
In a sense, all 5 objectives require 1 item. So it's just right there in front of you, but just keeps getting further away with each check.
Dia making the moon play, not surprised at all here.
Well, we've said it a few times. Your options are the moon or that Feymarch. I will take the moon in a heartbeat.
Dia going top down. We're gonna check the Bahamut boss here. If it's doable, I imagine we'll take it. Otherwise, Dia will say nope to that. You could go to the LST at this point and do top down. The Pale Dim altar is probably the most doable of the moon encounters, depending on the boss that's there, of course. And we could take random encounters as well. LST2 can be quite kind with the encounters, though. We don't have hourglasses. And there's a blue robe.
And now the guessing game begins.
Is it free?
I mean, of course, we're hoping not. It is indeed free.
So this
Provided,
is free
of course,
with restrictions.
Yeah, provided you can actually land the 3 hits.
This spot punches extremely hard, but with pretty good anchoring here. Unless Waterhag is a sniper, we're gonna get through this.
Dia looking to be getting through here just fine. Well, down goes
Nope.
Sid. Uh-oh.
Like I said, if we get a sniper here, nope. Gotta reset. That was a 1 in 4.
This is one of the fastest spots in the game.
Dia turning the battle speed over to 4 here. That'll give her a much greater chance to get the hits in.
Yeah, as we said, that is free with a couple of qualifiers on that. This
Free with
party,
restrictions. The restrictions are punches really hard.
and the gear, while it's pretty high tier gear, doesn't have the greatest of accuracy bonuses. So those stabs and rods, while they just have to land, just getting it to land is the hard part at times.
And chat asking, doesn't Bahamut have one of the highest physical attack in the game? Yes, it is tied with, I believe, maybe Leviathan, no, and a couple other spots. This spot definitely has the highest attack power in the game. It's tied with another spot. I can't think of it at the moment.
Chat also pointing out, this is the free enterprise version of a free trial. It's like those old AOL discs back in the day that just kind of rope you in and then, oh hey, surprise, here's the charge.
Man, if this is my free trial, I don't want it. I mean, I do want it. I love free enterprise.
No, we don't want that.
Of course it's not that easy. Of course.
I mean, you're gonna take 35,000 experience right now?
Yep, the real prize was the experience we got along the way.
Yeah, Chart Tracker pointing out that that Protect Ring would have come much more handy during the fight instead of after it. Sid might have actually survived one of those punches. So you mentioned top down before. Are you top down or bottom up with the moon?
I think I'm top down here. We'll see what Dia does. The routing, if you had great power here, would be to go all the way to the bottom. So that may be what Dia does. Dia being a much better runner than I am.
I almost wonder if this is just check everything and then decide what to attack after you see what's here.
Yeah, Dia going top down. My personal thing here for top down is that we're more likely to find an encounter that we can actually take. This could also be a metagame. This could also be a metagaming option if Dia thinks her opponent is lockstep with her, and Dragus Cloud also being quite a good runner. This could be a meta choice.
Well, it'll be a long one, but it is certainly doable.
Plague getting the count out. She wanted to get that reflect onto Plague. Plague, funny enough, if you get a Star Veil up before the fight starts, does reflect the count onto himself, and then it's just a matter of getting Plague's count to tick down before your party's does.
One thing that I know I didn't know about that is RA1 will not actually ever let that... An RA1 Plague will not have that count ever resolve. So it'll just continually refresh its own count. You have to hit it with some kind of slowdown in order to actually have the death effect kick in.
Yep, and we've got a slow effect with Rosa with being able to cast slow. I'm not quite sure how fast this spot is. I imagine it does start in RA1. Tala is not very fast, but if Dia is going to take this encounter again and uses that Star Veil, then I'm going to believe that she knows that this is a spot where you can succeed with that strategy.
Well, Dragus took a very quick look at that Baigen and then an immediate reset.
Probably going to go for the Rubicon here. This spot is annoying, but if you can time the Ice 3s, it will go a long way towards taking our full leg down.
Getting a Star Veil up on Palom, so at least reflecting the count. So it's at least on there, and there's the slow. And now it's just a matter of forcing Plague to recast that count every so often.
Yep, there's our double slows, which is basically the same as using one Silk Web. Palom will go down, we'll pick Palom back up, and that'll get the count going again. And then all Dia will really need to do at that point is to make sure to take an action once Plague's count is down to 0, and then the Q will kind of go through and go ahead and finish him off.
It's just
yeah, Dragus.
No, go ahead.
Dragus, well, knowing certainly just how difficult this Rubicon is here, everything he does hurts. The magic is quite high. The counterattack Fire 2 hurts quite a bit. The glare hurts, and the punches hurt. Yep, Dragus recasting the slow here. One very annoying thing, if he does reflect that fast, it will undo one of those slows.
And putting Tella down for his nap. Palom puts Tella down for a nap, and then Sid returns the favor to Palom. And there goes Plague.
Yep, there was that action. The action was to do a life 1, getting the experience on really the two most important party members at this point, the Palom and the Rosa.
So you like holy swords, eh?
Oh my gosh. Esco, you've got quite a sense of humor with this seed. Finding a crystal sword. This is one of those rare moments I'm gonna say, just a crystal sword? Ugh.
We're getting to the point where it's almost going to be too difficult to grab a Cecil and level them up. We're not quite there yet, but especially without Sirens, you're gonna have to really work to get that Cecil online.
Not only are you going to have to work to get that Cecil online, these two runners have to put in quite a bit of work just to get progression. Right now, our only objectives, not our only objectives, our only key items at this point are at essentially the bottom of the moon and these Fame Arch spots. Now, I, as a commentator and as a viewer, really love to see this situation. Of course, our runners are not happy with it, but we've got two very strong runners here, and especially Dia being known as one of our top runners. It's really exciting to watch how they're going to handle these very difficult encounters.
It's an hour in with absolutely no objectives. I'm getting very, very worried right now. That said, given all that's been done, I think, though you feel behind, or though it feels slow, I don't know if you feel behind because you know your opponent has had to deal with these same spots and these same issues.
Yeah, definitely. If anything, if I'm Dragus Cloud, I feel behind because Dia is known for being very aggressive and very fast, and Dragus took a reset in the Dwarf Castle. Dia, on the other hand, I don't think has really had any trouble with these encounters. Of course, they've been close. We've had a couple of resets, but if I'm Dia, I'm thinking those are resets my opponent also probably takes to the Water Hag and to Plague. Maybe not to Plague so much, but I think you're right. I don't feel too behind here.
And
finding the Calbrena dolls.
Somewhat free, not exactly a freebie, but a couple of quakes, and this one's over. Although we're pulling the frog out at first, it looks like.
Gotta deal with the back dolls first, casting a toad here.
Not so
Tell
much.
I'm missing. Oh, that's quite unfortunate. The spot has such high health that the back dolls, yeah, they don't die here. We've got to fix this situation and fast.
And there's the fix.
Yep, the fix is a reset. Tella really has to land that toad. Those back dolls will not die to a single quake. Another option here is to bluff with Palom before casting the quake, but with the 6 dolls, they punch pretty hard for this team.
You're really counting on that toad. And unfortunately, you're counting on not the most dependable spellcaster here as well.
Dragus still at it at this Rubicant.
Well, the Grimoire gets it done. That was close to a 10-minute fight, but see if there's a payoff to it. That's just soul crushing right there. Again, a very nice piece of equipment, but not nearly worth the time investment.
White shirt is the best in slot body armor for Rosa, but that's gonna feel so bad. Dragus definitely feels behind now.
So having put all that time into Ruby, do you go after Baigan? No? Dragus is leaving, but I wonder if you've committed that much time to the Fame March that you really need to just stick it out.
That is an option, but I don't think Dragus Cloud's team is really quite powerful enough to deal with that Baigan. That is a very rude Baigan at that spot. All 3 of the enemies there, the 2 arms and Baigan, punch really hard. But Dia gets the toad strats off, and now these dolls, they'll say that they'll turn into Calbrena, but nothing will happen.
100,000 experience is a large chunk right now. A spoon and a hook is a welcome sight for this party.
There's that hook. That was huge. That is gating so many things right now. It's one key item, it's an objective, and it's a character check that at this point is becoming pretty likely to hold either Kane or Cecil.
Yeah, man, we've seen...
And that makes 10 key items, which means the experience from here on out is going to be quite high.
We already know 8 of our characters. There aren't too many left to find.
No, but there are 3 duplicates out there, and I don't think we've... No, we found one duplicate. It was the Sid.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm almost hoping to see a Bard right now. Just to get some kind of punch in this party.
Yeah, with the elements here. This encounter can be annoying, but the health is pretty low at this spot relative to other moon locations, so reflecting a fire 3, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 that does this, but this won't take very long.
I think it's 2, but that reflects preventing the phase changes. You're almost going to be almost allowing to get through. I don't know if you could get through here without that right now.
It would be difficult. I think it's very doable, but the second Fire 3, that's going to do it. And you only get half the experience here, but this is one of the lower, it might be the lowest experience spot of all the bosses at the White Spear altar, and Dia gets through no problem.
I think so, yeah. And not exactly rewarded. The theme continues. Where are our things?
Well, they could all be behind the hook. It's very possible to find it's very possible to find the legend sword and then a character. And with the pigtail turn in, that could suddenly be go mode.
That rat tail is looming large at the moment.
But Dia committing, you're already down here. Let's see what's at the Masamune altar. Yeah, also a good infusion of experience.
If nothing else, it's worth seeing what's down here. Oh. Ew. Yikes. That's a problem.
I think you go back. I think you slow down the battle speed and you elixir that Yang. That should get through it. Or the Sid.
Sid, yeah. I think... Ooh. This...
Dia rearranging a little bit, setting up for this. I think we're going to get through it the second time.
Going with the cure first, and I don't know if we went all the way down to 6, but that's still an extremely fast DKC.
The main thing is that the Cure 3 has a delay on the cast, so getting it off fast enough, Dia may not be completely sure what the timing is to get through this. But that elixir is still looming. I think the issue is that you need to get one cure onto either of those two high hit point party members, and then you get the elixir on them so that they can get through all 3 dark waves. And Dia, not deterred, is going in a 3rd time here.
Free streamer pointing out that Dragus is just following in Dia's footsteps. Obviously, he doesn't know that, but
even the immediate Cure 3 not quite working out. We'll see how many times Dia wants to kind of throw her parties at this situation. Yep, going right back in.
I assume she's turned her battle speed down. I don't know where it is.
It went to 4 for the Water Hag. I don't know if she's changed it after that.
I think she turned it down for Plague too. No, yeah, you're right. She left it there.
Yeah, really committing to this encounter.
There's the Cure 3, so we're in with a chance.
We're through. I think this is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
Good.
High roll there.
Just not quite fast enough. I don't think all of our party members are at RA1 here. Certainly the Palom is not. I think she's got to throw that elixir.
I think she tried and it just didn't get out. There was a Cure 2 attempt to throw and it just did not make it out.
I suppose the other thing is that Dia may have used the elixir in a different encounter and I didn't catch that. That would make that quite a bit harder.
If you can get away with the Cure 2, I think that may be what she's trying to do. Hold on to that elixir, you know. Because that's what you do in RPGs. You get all these great items and then never use them, right?
That is certainly the way. That was how I did it when I was a kid. Like the number of potions that just would end up in the inventory completely unused. But I might need that mega elixir.
That I think was a missed menu. There was a Bacchus there. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is this the swag Bacchus?
Wow. I'll admit I thought that was going to count as an attack, and we were going to see a different piece of text there.
It may not count for the very last hit. Like if the third dark wave comes out, yeah. I guess the script goes through anyways. Oh, that's that's hilarious.
So how many items can we get that we can't wield?
All of them. Every single one.
Yeah. Dia might be. I think Dia's running low on life potions.
Yep, just one life potion left.
She has at least one life staff, I know, so that will help.
Yep, Dia committing to this full moon here takes the warp. We're going to be heading to the crystal altar next. Talking about feeling behind, Dia might now be feeling that.
I don't think. I think both of our runners are feeling that. This is. I don't know the last time I saw 70 minutes into a scene and no objectives. All right, so what's hiding for us here? The Alt Gauntlet here has red dragons, right? Or is it blue dragons?
It has some sort of dragon. It's not fun. I think it's two red dragons. I just had this encounter recently. I know the plague, like the alternate plague, is the first fight.
Well, there's a dragon, but
that's a huge nope rope. Nope.
Well, and reviving our exit mage just to get out.
Yeah. Nope.
To answer the question how we ended up here, the only thing left on Earth is a Baigen at Leviathan.
However, we've got that hook.
Yeah.
We've got this rat tail. That could be hiding quite a chain here. I mean, the rat tail into like the twin harp into earth crystal. I mean, there's a lot of options here. Or it could just be absolutely nothing. Who knows? Maybe it's another high power sword you can't use.
Can't even throw them at the moment either. Immediately going to launch that hovercraft. I'm worried about our restreamer falling out of their chair over there. This is quite entertaining for us, but our runners are not exactly having the greatest time right now.
Definitely not. This is one of the more difficult seeds this flag set could offer. Really nothing of value on the overworld besides the experience and just enough to have the entire world open to you. But these are two very high caliber runners. The seed is rude, but they are more than capable of getting through it and getting through it very efficiently.
Well, and now the big question, are we hiding sirens? We are indeed, and hey, remember we wanted those hourglasses earlier?
Yep, finding both of those. Grinds secured, especially for our mages. This is going to get a lot easier now.
Question, will we finally find a vessel for all those swords we've been holding on to?
I'm calling it now. I think a bard is down here.
We have the spoon.
Oh, there's an objective. We find Arcane and the Free Baron guards. Not in a place you'll ever fight them.
Well, you can at least equip one of those swords. Well, a couple of those swords now. That defense sword and Avengers start to come into play.
Oh yeah, those are two very good pieces of loot. The defense sword, arguably Kane's best weapon in the game. And we haven't done our grind here. Kane is, I think, quite a welcome party member. Yep, goodbye Sid.
Yep.
Tella remains the anchor.
And I think you wait to do a grind until you go see what that rat tail is. Because if you walk into a Cecil,
Dia ditching the runic. Dia ditching the runic axe there. I suppose we've seen all of the most difficult encounters. Ashura's likely not going to be at a rude spot, so no reason to keep it.
I don't know if you have a pass. All that's left on the moon is that Ogo. Do you even go back?
It's probably the last thing Dia will do at this point.
Yeah.
Ah, there's an earth crystal.
Yeah, if you're gonna grind right now, it's gonna be eggs.
Earth is huge. This is 2 chances at finding that Cecil. And we don't need to do the grind first. I think Dia just goes straight there. Might not even check the treasury. I think at this point, you have a Stardust Rod, you have the good melee gear. It's time to just go.
Dragus finding that hook and is getting out of the moon as fast as possible. He's gonna save a little time here on Dia.
How would you like more dragons that you can't use?
I would very much like the vessel for the dragon in this case. Well, we've been saying it all. Excuse me, we've been saying it all along. It's the seed, as bad as it's been, is about 2 minutes from go mode at any given time, and here we are. 2 character checks. I mean, there's only 2 more left. We're running out of spaces.
We have this location, the package, Baron Key, and the Giant. That's what's on the table right now.
And this almost... you're praying that it leads to something like the Baron Key right now. Otherwise, the Fey March and that Ogo are calling.
Or we find Cecil and a Legend Sword here, and it's just time to go.
You really think the seed's going to be that nice after all we've seen?
Dia's got another runic axe in inventory here.
Ah.
So again, like Chap pointed out, it's probably not that important anymore. Here's a sparkle.
We haven't seen a sparkle yet. Amazing. Well, we saw the Ogo.
We've seen Ogo, we've seen Plague. Here's Paladin. This will go down very quick.
Somewhat cathartic after all the many wipes as a child to this dragon. Just seeing him melt.
When you played this game as a kid, did you do the pink puffs? Or whenever you played it?
About to say, I didn't know the pink puffs existed.
I didn't either. I had no idea. I actually didn't learn about pink puffs until I started this randomizer, which is not part of the randomizer, but it's come up in conversation.
Confession time. I've never actually played the SNES version of this. I've only played the DS version.
It's a very good version, a very different game, but still the same story. And we find our Cecil here. This is 1 objective, 1 key item from Go mode now.
So in the span of 5 minutes, we've gone from no objectives to, well, we can use all those items now.
Yeah, and a ninja that could dart the rest of those swords we found.
So how quickly can you dump the mages from your party here?
Pretty fast.
There's the punch mage, and there's not taking edge. So looking more like hybrid strats as opposed to just full-on Zerk. Not that I'm one to question as good a player as Dia, but I think I take that edge there.
It's not too surprising. Dia does love her mages, though I think the more relevant thing is that Crystal Sword Cecil Gobert, like,
Yeah.
as they say, there's really not much else you need.
We do have a Masamune. I think we picked up a full moon at some point.
Yeah, we have a Masamune. We have or had a full moon, and I think there's a couple of darts. Not a whole lot, though.
I mean, there's obviously the Zeus Gauntlet that went on Cecil. Well,
so here's the big question at that point. Are we going to find our go mode? Are we going to find a chain? Or will it be nothing?
Well,
this could be the harp. It could be Baron. It could be nothing. We did leave Ogopogo on the moon, and we haven't touched that Baigun.
Theorycraft. If this is nothing, which do you go to first? Feymarch or back to Ogo?
I go to Baigun. We have Palom. That might be the reason Dia kept Palom, now that I'm thinking about it.
That's a fair point from the chat.
Just for that Quake.
We grind first. And there's a package.
Nope, not interested in that at this point. That's a big womp.
That's... Well, yeah, I take that back. We did just get Cecil.
We have our characters. We have a grind. We don't want to wait 2 minutes for a Fu, who's the only character I think relevant at this point. It's time to just crack some eggs and go to that Baigun. The good thing about keeping Palom is that if you keep him alive, you can lock Baigun into reviving those arms. And then the fight becomes significantly easier.
Well, before we do anything, we have to put Tella down for his nap again. Now we can get on those eggs.
Yep, and while we grind and while Dragus goes through a Zot, which we've already seen, I do want to give a moment for another shout out to our people behind the scenes. We've got Ascorian doing the restreaming, giving us this very rude, very delightful seed, and Alicel doing the tracking, hitting the buttons. So,
also, our two runners, if you're not following them now, please give them both a follow for the show they're putting on so far. Dia and Dragus, excellent players both. You will not be disappointed.
Our Trekker asking, have you ever been so drunk that you were surprised by an egg? Eggs can be quite surprising in a free enterprise.
Hey, Bacchus wine is a heck of a drug, okay?
Sometimes it's just like, where's the egg? Oh, it's behind me. Slowly turns around.
I mean, you literally are summoning the egg with a very loud sound. How are you surprised?
You're just blaring a loud horn, and then the eggs just sort of appear. Maybe by like blowing the loud horn, it's like able to find the location or something. I don't know. Chat asking, so curious why we want Tella taking a nap right now. So, in Final Fantasy IV, we have a system in place where there's an active time battle, and based just for like programming reasons, the speed of the encounter, any encounter that you're in, it's based off of the agility of the middle party slot. In vanilla, it's based off of Cecil, but for the randomizer, we've made it based off of the middle character. So the long and short of it is that if you have a slow character in the middle, it makes fast bosses slower. And if you have a fast character in the middle, I always get this backwards. The most important thing is that having a slow character like Tella in the middle means that the bosses will act much slower in this ATB system.
I think it's, well, I mean, agility is black magic. Let's just be honest.
Very black magic.
Yeah, the slower anchor allows your party to move faster, If
Yep.
my limited understanding of it, and the faster anchor will cause the bosses to act slower.
Right, for the early checks.
Yes.
The like short rule is that on the overworld you want your anchor to be fast, and for the rest of the seed you want your anchor to be slow. Especially here in the Fey March, it's very important for certain encounters like this very rude Baigan. Baigan will be at RA1, which is also black magic to me, but essentially Baigan will take much fewer actions than our party will, essentially. And that's going to be very important because the Baigan here has one of the highest attack powers in the game, and it has, well, the magic I don't think is very good here, but that's only relevant for the vampire.
Which do you take first if you're in Dia's situation?
I think I take Baigan. I think my opponent hasn't done Baigan, or if they're doing it, they did it later, and we have Quake. Yep, heading right to Baigan. I really think this is the entire reason Dia kept Palom at this point.
Fair point. Those arms are as dangerous as the main body, if not more so.
Take a nap, kid.
Ugh, we tried.
But that's okay. With Cecil and Kane both zerked up here, they're going to get many more actions than Baigan does. And we've got some levels on our party now. Dia's definitely going to get through this. Yep, there's the Quake queued up.
Always wait to see the indicator on the arms, otherwise that Quake is only going to be a single target. Learned that one the hard way too many times.
Tella does need to take a nap quite soon here, though.
If something does go wrong, I suppose you do have the package as an emergency backup for an anchor.
I think you just accept it. If you get the experience here, it's like, all right, there we go. Floor mage secured.
Yeah, I think this is one of those spots you can usually count on the boss to do the dirty work for.
Yep, exactly. And if Tella got the experience, it's not the end of the world. It's not like it would give him a ton of agility. Tella has one of the slowest agility growth progressions in the game. Well,
and the
there's a chain.
Chain begins. Here we go. So, who are we looking for at that evil wall spot? Wyvern's still out there.
Yep, still got a Wyvern. Dia, of course, going to take Rubik King. You don't leave it at this point. Unfortunately, we know this is just a t-shirt.
Yeah, this is one of those. This is the rare boss when the Berserk strat is not your friend. Those Fire 2s are going to be coming out very hard and heavy here. Those
Damn, Dia not taking a save. This is quite a gamble. It is quite possible to wipe here. Of course, Dia known for being very aggressive. This play doesn't surprise me at all. Dia likes to take risks. Dia likes to take gambles. And meanwhile, Dragus Cloud heading back to the moon, taking on those checks that we didn't see from Dragus now.
I think that's the right play from Dragus' standpoint. He's got 3 spots left here. I don't know I think he did Water Hag, so... Oh, he's also doing a bit of a gold dragon grind here.
Yep, we've got both those hourglasses, and we've got, well... Dragus doesn't have weak from Tella, but we have a crystal sword.
Well, unfortunately for Dia, that Ice 3 a little bit early, and we just healed Ruby for 5,500. Now, while Dia is almost out of life potions, she does have the life staff, so that can make up for some of it.
Yeah, but that's only one life caster. If we lose both Rosa and Tella here, this could get quite dangerous.
Tella's already on the ground. It's Rosa or bust. Alright. Foregoing the Ice 3 this time and just sticking with Quake.
I love this use of Blizzard here. Dragus did this too. Does quite a bit of damage.
It is based off of the user's HP, correct?
Yes. And then Rubicon, of course, taking the weakness bonus, taking more damage there. And Diaz through it. Not only is Diaz through it, we got that experience on all of our relevant party members. So just a t-shirt for his... Just a t-shirt for her trouble, but good experience, and it's certainly an encounter you take while you're down here. Like I was saying earlier, you really don't want to leave a check that your opponent took on the table.
And Palom's only a couple 100,000 XP away from Nuke. Could just grind that Nuke out right here before going to Sealed Cave if you really want.
I think we just go to Sealed Cave. If we want that Nuke, we can take... a few more sirens. I'm not sure that Dia does it. I'm trying to think of what's faster here, but I mean, when you have Crystal Sword Cecil, it's just that sort of overpowers any other strategy on your mind. And the Sealed Cave does give, I believe, a pretty good infusion of experience with the 10 key items.
Couple of free bosses out there, Baron Guards, Officer Soldier, but yeah, as we mentioned, Wyvern's out there, the Alt Gauntlet is still out there. So
Alt Gauntlet would be hilarious and annoying for Dia because, actually, no, I'm thinking of a different...
Gauntlet, I don't think... Yeah.
It's not difficult, but I think this is the Alt Gauntlet where you have the Vamp Girl and the Bats. Where they all very slowly take a vampire action one by one.
Yep. And your best friend Quake does nothing.
Yeah, that would be annoying, but both our runners are going to have to do it, so... There's our go mode.
So, that means Baron Key or Music is behind that Ogo.
Yep. And that's very likely the route Dragus is going to take here. And there's that Ashura that I was talking about earlier. Not really going to matter, though.
That is really rude by the seed. You're required to either take the Baigan at Leviathan or the Ogo at the Crystal Sword altar. Those are not fights I really want to have to take.
Nope, not at all. But Dia's showing her real high level of proficiency here. Really not having much difficulty with this seed besides that Dark Knight at the Ogo altar. That Dia took a good 4 or 5 wipes to.
The rare wall miss there from Rosa. Gotta love these random spell misses, like I'm back in Pokemon Gen 1.
Yep, Wall does have an accuracy to it, so does Berserk. Oftentimes when you have a heroine robe on, you'll see those misses happen a lot more frequently, and they're still pretty rare, but...
So, getting through that Asura, the bad news there for Dragus at the White Spear altar. And he's gonna run into a little friend here in a moment. He's a little more equipped than Dia was to face that DKC, but still not gonna be an easy fight.
No, and really Dragus Cloud kind of needs a miracle here. Dia is significantly ahead. We have to deal with that DKC, which Dragus might also not exactly have the setup for. The health is there though, actually, now that I say that, the health is there, there's a cure for, that'll be much easier, but we still got to get through that Ogo, And then, in best case scenario, the Twin Harp. I think Dia is quite a bit ahead here.
Even if Dragus went straight for Ogo right now and got through it, just the time needed to get to the difference between turning in the Forge or doing the Twin Harp is a big difference right now.
Dia essentially needs to wipe to Z, and with this party, I don't think that happens.
I need to be multiple whites, to be honest. Now, again, there is just the one life potion for Dia, and there is always the chance that that could play a factor, but I don't think so.
Yep, it'll be a good question here if Dia wants to get nuke and if Dia wants to check those shops. The direction she's going makes me think no. Oh, turn in the Excalibur first, or turn in the items for the Excalibur first.
Funny thing about that Z fight, you kind of that going there without a crystal is a little bit of a problem.
Quite a bit of a problem. Something I've never done ever. Nope, not at all. Nope.
I have yet to run into that myself. I know it's coming one day, but enjoying it, staving it off until it does. Not even checking Kokel's shop, which I guess makes sense at this point. I mean, what is really there that could help you out? A power shirt, maybe?
Apples, maybe at best.
Yeah, for that palm.
But even then, yeah, no, it's time to just go. I really don't think we even take eggs here. The only thing that could end up being difficult, I think, at Z is if Z high rolls big bangs or high rolls counter nuke on a target you don't want it on, and Dia runs out of life potions, essentially, which, like you said, she's only got one at the moment. She could check these shops. I get a feeling, knowing how aggressive she is, I get a feeling she doesn't even do that.
In the meantime, Dragus able to keep everyone alive through that Dark Knight fight.
Yeah, and also really important to point out here, with that 2200 health, a life staff, and the white shirt, it's really unlikely that Rosa dies.
Well, I don't know about you, Solaris, but I'm seeing a couple of these blue flags in chat. This Z question mark. Have you seen that before?
This is the Mylon Z fan club.
Ah, makes sense. Gotcha. Wait, we put Mylon Z at the Z spot now?
Well, no, certainly not. This is our fight. This is the end game encounter. Zeromus, we don't randomize his location. Big bangs at the wrong spot early on. No thanks. But we do randomize what Z looks like. So you want to lead us with the very important question, Cubs?
I think it's whose butt are we kicking tonight?
You got it. Whose butt are we kicking tonight? A question I like to ask lately. Is it cute? Is it creepy?
We've had a couple that have fit both of those recently, is all I'll say. Well, holding us in suspense there for a moment. I hope we see the return of Bracketmas. Well, I can't say I've seen this one before.
This is new to me. I love it. It is the Death Star in space. One of the few sprites that feels somewhat thematic, even if we're fighting the entire Death Star.
Kind of crossing fandoms here a little bit, but it works actually.
Hella doing his best job possible here, taking a hit and then taking a nap. Burning the floor of the vacuum of space.
Dragus getting through the Ogo on the other side, so we'll at least see what that has.
There's our harp.
Yep, so Harp then has to lead the Baron.
Yep, and that won't matter so much. That is direct go mode for Dragus. And though, unfortunately for Dragus, he's quite behind, that does mean that we'll get music. Though the timing of music might we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
The timing of music might be the same as when we would interview Dia. I'm just assuming Dia gets through this. I mean, Crystal Sword Cecil, Rosa, life staff, white shirt. This is kind of a far gone, bygone conclusion to me.
I mean, about the only thing that would really be a problem would be a high roll counter nuke that just targets the wrong person.
It would have to be like a target. It would have to be like a nuke hits Rosa, but it's not even gonna be that. It would have to be like Big Bang into rocks. And even then,
a nuke straight
I don't think we even get a
big
second Big Bang here.
A nuke straight into a Big Bang could be a little worrying, but I think you're right. I don't think we see a second Big Bang.
Well, there's the shake for the Big Bang. We've certainly tipped at this point. This is looking more likely to be Big Bang into rocks. There's the Big Bang.
Oh.
Rosa's got the Cure 4 timed. That should get in before rocks happen.
Hallam takes a nap. Everyone else holds on. This is looking very good for...
Oh, nope. Shadow's right here. There's the rocks.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
What an unfortunate wipe.
Oh,
Chat
no.
calling it. That was just the right range to be Big Bang into Meteor. And Dia, you know what? Shake it off. Take a slow breath, shake it off, and just go again.
I don't know if you can feel ahead in this seed, to be honest, but I think worst, you're feeling that your opponent's right on your heels, that you're both in the Z fight at the same time.
Yeah, this is the point as a competitor that you just shut that right out of your mind. It doesn't matter what my opponent is doing. I just need to play my game. I just need to get through the Z fight and win. And now Dia knows that that damage range is going to easily tip into Big Bang into Meteor, so I think she'll do a nerf of that second Big Bang and just try to avoid that situation entirely.
That said, on Dragus' side, we have our music, so let's enjoy. All of the harp songs, very well done. Nice little rendition there from Super Mario Bros. 3. But I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch.
No, certainly not. Calamity and I believe Xenocat, maybe a couple other contributors have added, I think over 200 songs to that pool, and DJ Spoonie B's got quite a lot of good hits. A lot of the Mario 3 songs are big favorites of mine, or Mario ones in general. But anyways, Dia back in this fight. See how it goes the second time here for Dia. Dia essentially needs to take either another wipe or something like dropping most of your party members and where it's slow to kind of get the ball rolling again. Otherwise, Dia is still in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, I think the wipe is going to be required, even if you... Well, even if you have to try and recover, I guess it's got about, what, 90 seconds, 2 minutes advantage right now? This is going to be close.
Dia reflecting some spells. I'm not sure if I caught Dia doing this last time.
I saw
kind
at
of
least
forgetting
one
here.
reflected white. I don't know if we saw any reflected nukes. No, we don't have nuke, but yeah, any other reflected spells.
Really just looking to tip past that Big Bang into Meteor situation. But yeah, here's the nerf coming out. This should secure the fight. It would have to be a high roll Big Bang, and we nuked Rosa. Yeah, I think we're going to be fine here.
Certainly got a lot closer there toward the end, but I think you're right. Dia looks to have this one locked down.
Yep, there's the Big Bang. This one is most certainly nerfed. The rocks will come out, but if nothing else, Kane will survive. And with that Avenger, we'll be pretty good to go.
There's our rocks. Vessel might be in for a nap, indeed. But Kane is gonna be able to clean this one up, I think. So that was a rather high. That was a rather high heal.
And
there
there's
it
the
is.
flash. GG's to Dia.
That was maybe one of the worst seeds I've seen in a while.
Yes,
Just in
certainly
terms-
one of the...
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Definitely one of the slower seeds we've seen in a while, but we were joined by Dia. GG, well done. Words are hard. That was a seed, was it not?
I think, Dia, I can see your Discord lighting up, but I don't think we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything either.
Hello?
Hello.
Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Pretty low power level for quite a while. Once you clear out the dolls and got the hook there, you could get a ton of power really quick. But I decided to just stay moon, clear out what I could, and ended up being everything except Yoga Pogo.
Yeah, the way you played that out really did work out in your favor. The first question I have to ask you is DKC. Tell me how you were feeling during that.
Luckily the retries aren't too slow to just get back in there, and the wipes happen relatively quickly. I know I could get through it. It was just a bit of timing things, and then I accidentally wasted a pocket, so that was a bit frustrating, but got through it without too much issue.
Yeah, definitely a rude spot for the DKC, and the timing with the Cure 3 is certainly a little awkward. But now you're 5-0. You got through. Of course, you're already through to brackets, but being at 5-0, don't have to worry about that first round with the bye. What are your thoughts on brackets at this point?
Just ready to get into it. I've been practicing the bracket flags since qualifying kind of put the Swiss on the back burner. And so far, I think the flags are really interesting with the changes. And I like how the brackets for these past few events have had they just throw something in there that just completely changes things. Last and Famous Zone, it was the perma join. This one we have the Cell Zero, so it's going to be interesting, I think.
So
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you. I've asked all the questions here.
I was saying, in that seed, were you wondering? You were finding items for literally every character in the game, but those in your party. At what point are you just like, hey, can I start equipping some of these things?
Well, I knew that Kane and Cecil were coming at some point, so I wasn't really too worried about it. It was just more of a when it happens type of deal. I was more concerned about how am I supposed to get levels to get through things? And luckily, boss spots were pretty kind and didn't have to get too high of a level to play through most of it.
GG to Dragus as well, finishing at 145.21. don't believe, unfortunately, Dragus is going to be able to join us for an interview, but very well done by him as well.
Yeah, both our runners very close in time here, only 3 minutes apart. So anyways, though, Cubs, any questions from you? Or any more questions from you at this point?
I guess I'm just wondering, taking a Z wipe like that right at the end, I'm sure nerves were spiking at the moment. How are you feeling with that Meteo that just sniped everyone?
Everyone's wiped to the combo power before, but it happens. It's definitely my first Z wipe in quite some time. Even during practices, I normally haven't had a wipe for quite a while, so definitely got me a bit worried. Like I just gave this away. Luckily, I built up enough of an advantage throughout the rest of the seed in order to do it.
Yep, and very well done there. You know, once you got back in it, you knew exactly how you needed to, just slightly alter the strategy, nerf that second Big Bang, and just get through it without any issue at all. So again, GG's Sadia, and thanks for putting on a good show for us.
Thank you. And thank you for everything, the tracking and the commentary.
Looking forward to next week. Anyone you're looking to avoid or looking forward to facing?
PK said he's going to meet me at this 5-0 match, so we'll see if he beats Dusty tonight. Yeah, maybe we can get that match for him.
Well, again, as Slo said, GG, very well done. Very much looking forward. You mentioned PK, that I believe we're heading off to that match next over on RPG Limit Break, PK versus Dusty. That one will be one to watch as well.
Yeah, some very... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you if you had any final thoughts, Solaris.
No, just GG's to our runners again. They were both very close, only 2.5 minutes between the two of them. Put on a very good show. And, our next match here, another 4-0, I believe. It'll be a good one to watch. I definitely recommend sticking around. And otherwise, just no spoilers, chat. No spoilers. This was a good race. You could call it out as a good race, but besides that, no spoilers, and enjoy the next match. We've got a lot of good free enterprise for you today, and thanks so much. Have a good afternoon.
Just one final shout out to our two runners, Dia and Dragus. Thank you both for the show you put on. Esco behind the scenes, keeping us on the air, and Alisale on tracking, just allowing us to sit here and talk. My co-commentator, Solaris, thank you for carrying the whole way. Appreciate it. And very much looking forward to the next match here.
Yeah, likewise. And thanks for the comms with me. This was a fun one. Anyway, see you later.
Have a good night, all.